top is Principles Over Personalities. We do have two speakers, Denne, and Alan. And Denny's going to start first. Ladies first.
Hi, family. My name's Denne, and I'm an addict.
Hello, Denne.
So how many of you guys out there in this room feel like you're kind of an egomaniac with an inferiority complex? Am I the only one? Okay, so how many of you guys feel like one of your character defects may be self-righteousness? That's a big one for me. And when I think about the 12th tradition, which is where anonymity comes in and where we are asked to place principles before personalities, I have to, in order to honor that tradition, humble myself. Because I run around between these two ears, which is the most dangerous place in the world for me to stay, and judge people and think about how much better I can do whatever they're doing, and how much more I know, and how I'm right and they're wrong. And that's the sick me that runs around like a little hamster in a wheel between my ears. And I have to humble that motherfucker because she knows everything and she really doesn't know anything at all. Whenever I'm able to quiet that Denne and become humble, I'm able to walk into Narcotics Anonymous. And no matter what you're doing before you walk into the room and what I'm doing before I walk into the room, you're my equal. I'm your equal. I'm no better than you. I'm no worse than you. We are the same. I'm able to recognize that this is not about me. This is about us. I can't do this by myself, and my guess is that you guys can't either. And for me, that's humbling myself. And after several years clean, that humbling comes a whole lot more naturally. I still think I know the best way to do things. But second nature to me today is to reach out and try to help someone, regardless of what they can do for me. And that is also a big part of what our 12th tradition is. It's doing the right thing for the right reason. It's remembering that this is a we thing, not a me thing. Remembering that I'm equal to everyone else. And it's real funny because all of that egomania that goes on between here and here, this is the most dangerous place in the world, y'all. All that egomania is only insecurity. My inability to soften and to listen to somebody else's advice has been my biggest problem. My best ideas kept getting me loaded over and over and over again. I think I relapsed. I got clean and relapsed from age 14 to age 27, 6 times. And it's because I never would trust anybody, and I never would listen to what anyone else had to tell me. And this time around, I've had to get uncomfortable and do the things that I wouldn't do before. Take advice, take direction, and I still don't do it all the time. You can ask my sponsor, and she'll tell you. And that too has come with me being able to humble myself. For me, the 12th tradition and being able to look at you all's principles versus your personalities, because I really don't agree with some of the shit y'all do when y'all aren't here, right? I'm sure you can say the same thing for me. That all really does come from a relationship with my higher power today and my ability to remain humble. The 12th tradition rolls up all of our traditions into this one final message that this is a we thing, not a me thing. Leave your bullshit at the door. And today for me also that carries over into my professional life because I am in a helping profession in the addictions field. And so is Alan over there. So I live that humility every day because I'm constantly faced with people walking out of the disease, still fucked up from the disease, into my office. You know, I have to do the breathalyzer and you know, I can smell alcohol, they're nodding out in the chair, and I'm reminded constantly of where I came from, and that this disease is still doing what it does out there. It has not stopped. It's keeping on. And with every human being that I come in contact with in my line of work, I'm humbled even more every day. And I'm reminded that I can't for 1 second take what I have in Narcotics Anonymous, what I have gained in Narcotics Anonymous for granted. I thank God every day that my mom got clean when I was 9 years old. I'm still pissed off at her for the shit she put me through whenever I was 9 and below, and some 9 and above, because she was not fixed when she got clean. She is still a work in progress. But my mom showed me that I could stay clean, because she came to NA and she stayed, and she's still here. 28 years clean, 29 in June, still goes to a meeting every week, sponsors people, has always been involved. Thank God for her. Thank God for her showing me that this works. And thank God for me being willing enough to come in here on my own and find what I've found now. That's mine, not hers. Because for a long time I had to create my own identity in recovery, because of my identity was really, really wrapped up in being Denne's kid. But today, I'm so grateful to the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous for saving my ass, for showing me that this is not, everything does not revolve around me. Right? Everything, it really doesn't revolve around me. This is about us, and I'm able to come to conventions and go to meetings and be around people. And I don't trust people that aren't sober and clean. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust them. I don't trust them all the way. And then you meet a lot of people out there in the world, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm clean. I just have a glass of wine from time to time. And I'm like, oh, I just trust y'all. Y'all are my people. And I'm so grateful to be allowed this opportunity to come here and spend time with my people and share the message of hope that is Narcotics Anonymous recovery. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Denny. My name is Alan. I'm a grateful recovering addict. And I didn't get a lot prepared for this. I was told that I was going to do this man's job, doing Greg's job, and chairing, and Greg got put on him that he was going to chair. And so I didn't get a lot prepared, and I just want to thank you for everything that you've said, Denny. That was beautiful. But this topic brings up a lot of stuff. It really stirs my guts up. The principles over personalities thing. I hear a lot of people talking, and then following them and watching how they walk doesn't match what they say and talk, and that it causes me to say, well, what that person said is bull crap. Why should I do what they're saying? And bringing this to my sponsor tells me that regardless of what the person said, the message that they're giving is good advice. It's good stuff. It's good, good material to live by. So whether this person that says for you to live that way is living that way or not, doesn't mean that you shouldn't. And that kind of puts a different twist on things, for me. And it makes it a lot easier for me to listen to the message that the person is giving rather than to shoot down the messenger. And because I see it happening all the time, and the more you stay around in these rooms, the more you see that there are all kinds of personalities in here, and the higher the more you get into the service structure, that's when you see the personalities, see, hear, feel the personalities, and it becomes real chaotic. It can be, and it's like Denny's saying, this stuff that goes on between my ears. I call this my shit factory, And I've been told that that's the, like you said, it's the most dangerous place to be. Don't go in there without somebody, with more experience. And I find this really to be true because all my head's doing is out to get my butt. My head lies to me. Everything that goes on in there, it tells me I'm not good enough. It tells me that like what it's telling me right now is you hadn't prepared for this. You don't have any business even saying anything. So I hope that somebody is able to get something out of anything that's being said up here today, because this is a great topic, and it really has caused a lot of I guess anxiety is one thing that it stirs up. It just stirs up a lot of emotion, and I remember when I first got clean, all of the emotions that bombarded me, and all of the feelings that come in, and I'm not being able to piece out what I'm feeling. Because when I start to get a grip on what this feeling is, then another one rears its head up, and our 12th tradition states that anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. And this is a much easier said than done thing for me. I hate this, but we're going to have to open the floor because I don't have anything more to say. It's all I got to say, except that I want to tell you that I love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for coming and listening, and there's not one damn thing you can do about it.
Thanks for sharing. I'm Greg, Grateful Covering Addict. The floor is open. Anybody want to speak? Can.
Hey, Thompson, that.
You need to come up here. You got to come up here.
My name is Thompson. I'm an addict.
Hey, Thompson.
And when I heard the topic, the first thing that I was thinking about was that's why I came here, because coming around the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, and you hear, you listen to other people's perception of other people, so you start character assassinating people yourself because you pick up their bad habits, and I was thinking about that because I've been accused of that myself, because you don't like somebody, I don't like them, you know what I'm saying, or my sponsee family don't get along with this group of people, then I start taking on their stuff. And I was talking to my sponsor about that a couple of weeks ago, about how, only person I'm hurting in that matter is me, because I'm not allowing, because I sit in meetings, and if you sharing, I'm not listening to what you sharing. Because I already blocked you out before you even opened your mouth. So I was just like trying to think of that. I said, let me come in here and hear something about that. Because, it's about saving my life. It's about saving my life. And the more people that I alienate from my life, I'm just killing me, But I was glad to hear somebody sharing about, about don't shoot the messenger. And that's what I have to learn how to do. And still being early in recovery, I still have a tendency to do that. But that's why they tell us, it's practice, keep coming back and it's practice. But I'm just grateful to be here, man. I'm having such a great time, and I just, I love it. Thanks for allowing me to share.
Thanks for sharing.
Who's next?
There you go.
My name is Eddie B. I'm an addict.
Hey.
Thanks for the privilege.
Thank you.
Gregory, I already met, but we didn't talk about principles before personalities. And considering what I've had the benefit of learning from my predecessors, that's not something I practice real well. I'm not going to tell you that. If I don't like you, I don't like your ass. Period. But I have learned from those who came before me in this fellowship that I'm not qualified to make my own decisions. I don't think real good. Something wrong with my thinker. So I learned to listen to people even though I may not particularly care for them as people. I like to say this, and I speak about myself. I'm not a spiritual giant. Okay? Giants have a way of looking down on people. I don't walk on water. When it rains, my feet still get wet. And I have to deal with these things on a day-to-day basis. I have learned that a lot of the personality issues that I have with other people is about my mess, not theirs. It's about, I don't like what they said, or I don't like the setting that they said it in. It's about some me stuff. So whether I like you or not is irrelevant because I can't change you. I can't even change you to be the person that would make me like you, you know? And thank God for that. Because if I remember correctly, when I was operating changes in my own life, it put me up under a bridge eating out of a Checkers dumpster. And even then, I was batting 1,000 because I didn't die, you know? But the best I could do was live a marginalized life. I've learned in here that anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions. And I need to start taking the title off of people. I got a silent resentment against my sponsor for something he said to me at the last area meeting. I have not talked to his ass since then. Now, it ain't hurting him. I'm aware of that. But I'm also aware of this. I ain't going to call him till I get good and damn ready. And if I have to go through some pain to get there, then that's just the reality of the situation. I cannot come in here and tell y'all that I hear you share something that's going to make me go home and have a glory hallelujah moment. It just doesn't happen like that for me. I've learned way more from pain and mistakes than I have from success. But I have learned to appreciate the value of the success of others. That people can believe and have hope and courage and love and compassion and empathy and tolerance even when I don't. And that if I would just remain open and willing, sometimes I can attach my weak belief to your belief and make it through the day. That's what's been working for me. In a program where nobody has a name, you know. I was telling somebody, I like conventions. There's some addicts in the room right now that come from the area where I'm recovering at, but I really like conventions because there's about 5,000 other of you who don't know me, and I don't have to put on no damn mask. I could just be Eddie. You know what I'm saying? And I can come in here and share openly and honestly about myself. You know. So for those of you who are doing great with that, I'm glad as hell. But that ain't my story. I'm kind of grateful for that though too, because I remember when I thought life was easy, I kind of took stuff for granted. I think that's why I gave all that other stuff away. I just took it for granted. It didn't mean nothing, you know? But we're talking about some irreplaceable shit. We're talking about a relationship with my wife. You know, the love and respect of my children. You know, we're talking about me stealing from my mama. Stuff like that. And it didn't mean nothing to me, you know? Today, it does mean something to me. Today, I'm in touch with my feelings, and I understand that a lot of my feelings have to do with the way I discern my relationship to other human beings. It isn't that other person's issue, it's mine. It isn't their responsibility to fix it, it's mine. And somewhere in here, I've got to learn that living spiritual principles will kind of eliminate some of those clashes of personalities. I was joking with a guy that I know outside. Sometimes putting principles before personalities will help me with keep an open mind and give your ass a break. So it's a lot better than it used to be. And I do believe in this program, and I'm grateful to all of you being here. Kind of funny. Me and this addict, I just met him. And here we are. I'm grateful that the God of my understanding puts his principles before my personality. And I do believe that I can learn from everybody in this room. But some of you, I learned good lessons, and some of you I learned from your horrible examples. I'm learning what to do and what not to do, and I would strongly encourage any addict, find somebody that can help you learn to practice principles before personalities. Yeah. Holding these silent resentments may put me back in the dope house one day. So every day I got to strive to be a better addict than I was the day before. And I'm here. And I'm grateful. Thank y'all for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing.
Hey, my name's Toby. I'm an addict.
Hey, Toby.
I don't know about you, but I've been a member of 3 home groups since I've been here. And, 2 of them, I guess, will be, could be called kind of controversial ones. Anybody ever been in one of those ones that's just busy as hell, just shit going on and just sit there and shake your head, or then my third one, the one now, it was a little different. It was just when I got there, and still to this day, to a large extent, a lot of folks don't come to that home group because at one point it had gotten to be too much religious overlap into it and stuff. But I went ahead and jumped in mainly because I like the people at that home group. It's closest to my house, and as a home group, we work that out. We don't do that. It's not like that anymore. And it's just absolutely not. And it's just about recovery and doing it the right way. But that was one of those issues. That was strong feelings. It's usually about strong feelings and not wanting to back off. I'm extremely stubborn, on that kind of stuff. I used to be a member of this committee. I've been a member of area and a GSR and had some hollering matches. No chair throwing that I heard about, before I got here. But I've been in the North Atlanta area and the East End area in my recovery of Atlanta. And enjoyed both those areas, and did H&I work or service. I did H&I service, People used to correct me, those gurus or whatever. It's not work, it's service. And that's right. It's a privilege. It's not to be viewed as work, And it helped me, I think, a lot more than the guys at the diversion center that I went and took the first and second step to for 2 years, because that's all I had to give, But anyway, the second home group, we were a noon meeting. I was in that home group for 4 or 5 years. We were a noon meeting that had a lot of people come from all over. We sometimes had 70 people in that meeting. At certain days of the week. It met 5 days a week. So what was the problem there? Big, huge collection plate, right? Bunch bunch of disagreement about that, and then we just had this thing, area's not doing what we want them to do, so we should withhold funds to leverage our power and stuff, was one of the things going, and we just had to, it's constant. But we always had the voting numbers to quash that stuff, because that was bull, that's not what, that's not what we're here about, and that's not what we're here about. But we had this, at one time, North Atlanta had this thing called the Fun in the Sun Convention. And North Atlanta doesn't have the Fun in the Sun Convention anymore. So it just all was in relation to that, so it's very destructive. And I have personal experience with it as being a member of that home group, that it just flowed out of that stuff and a bunch of other stuff, I personally, this is not my phone. I have no resentments over any of the folks, especially in my home group. It was just disagreements and all, but I regret that. I've never gone to it. Now, the Panama City has taken it over now, and I hear it's still a lot of fun. I've never gone to it, but I want to someday. But I've been busy, raising 2 sets of twins, and they're all out of the house for the most part now. But I like going to conventions, and the only reason I got up is because that subject, they should have, that would have been a good one for me, because I got some direct experience with it, and I've always liked that about NA from day one. When I first meeting I ever went to, which was in a treatment center, but it was a regular meeting that I went to on a Friday evening over in the Ridgeview Country Club of Recovery over there in Smyrna, Georgia, and the guy got up and said, "Hi, my name's Mike, and I got a problem named Mike." And I think I knew right then and there that NA was where I was going to be going to my meetings, because it was about the best thing and the most honest thing I had heard in 2 weeks. Since I checked myself in and all that good stuff. And anyway, my clean date's May 8th, 1997. My name's Toby. I met Alan a year later or so after that, and a bunch of folks I still see from the first few years at these conventions and at meetings regularly, and that's just an awesome thing. I love y'all too, but there might be something you can do about it. I'm not sure.
I'm an addict. My name is Diana.
Hey, Diana.
Aloha, family. I just felt kind of prompted to say something on principles before personalities, because it is something that can be used in every aspect of my life, which I think that's what it's intended to do. Truthfully, like when I came here, I didn't like anybody. I didn't like me, and I didn't like anybody else. And until I worked the steps and I learned about applying principles, I had a lot of defects of character that I acted out on when I didn't like people. Once, when I started working the steps, and then, the first place that I really learned about principles before personality, because like my habit was if you did something and I didn't like you, or you didn't like me, or whatever, or I even thought that was there, then I would just quit participating in the relationship. It's like, okay. Well, what helped me with that was getting a job. And when I got a job, there were people that worked there that I didn't like. And if I applied principles to it, what I've learned is when I apply principles to it and I don't treat them like nothing, I don't get to just go around and treat you like shit because I don't like you. That ain't okay. So I go, hey, how you doing today? And try to treat you like somebody I do like respectfully. And what happens for me is a lot of times I end up liking you, And also the fact that there were a million times with my job where I wanted to just tell them all where they could put it and go out the door. And today, as a responsible adult, I can't do that. Well, I could, but there's a price tag. And I wasn't willing to pay it. So that means I have to resolve it. And I tell you what, nothing, another thing that helped me in this program is when I learned that this isn't about what I want. Because that's what my addiction was, what I want or what I don't want, and my actions being based on what I want or what I don't want. It has nothing to do with what I want or don't want. As a matter of fact, my barometer to live by is do what I don't want to do. Because I innately do not want to do the next right thing. So if I get complete resistance with every fiber of my being toward a suggestion, then that means to me, oh hell, that's what I gotta do. And it kind of sucks, but then again, knowing what, knowing what I'm supposed to do helps. But today the resistance doesn't last as long, because then I'm like, okay, well, I know that if I quit resisting and I go ahead and do that which I do not want to do, then I will probably, benefit from it. And I'm just forever grateful that I have learned not to treat people disrespectfully because my being says, I don't like you, for whatever reason. It's never usually a really good reason. So I go ahead and talk to you and interact with you, and I love you. And that's one of the benefits to me, and then the principle of this step is service. And it, I don't like just skip down the road going, oh, I want to wash dishes today for 100 people. That's just not something I just want to do. But I know that if I go on in there and wash the damn dishes, I'm going to benefit from it, and so I wash dishes whether I want to or not, and the results turn out pretty good. Thanks for letting me share.
I'm Greg, grateful recovering addict. Principles over personalities. I know in that 12th edition it says that we have to practice principles over personalities. And the only way we practice is trying to develop some relationships, coming to a meeting. Because I can remember coming back after the relapse to my first, I don't know if it was the first meeting, whatever meeting it was, and everybody was so noisy, and what I had on my mind was, you guys need to be quiet so I can hear what's going on. I want to stay here this time. But after the meeting, some of the guys said, there's some of those things you can't control, You telling everybody to sit down, they don't want to hear it. Really trying to control the situation. What I learned from that is that I got to practice some principles. Some of those principles are acceptance. I got to be open-minded. I got to be honest with me. And I got to be willing to do something about my life. Those are the principles I have to practice. And then when I come into confrontation, I got to be willing to be humble enough to walk away. Those are practices and principles in my life. Because I understand today, my personality usually will get me in trouble if I don't put principles first. And that's the challenge. That's for me. That's the challenge that always comes up. Because I can be sitting in a meeting, and somebody's start to sharing about their dog and all about that, and I'm like, but I understand that they have the right to do that. Because it's their recovery, not mine. So if that's what's on your mind, that's what you got to do. But I only understand that by continuing to come to meetings like this, because there's a lot of stuff I don't want to hear. But even being open enough to hear those things I don't want to hear may help me out. Just because it's probably because I don't have a dog that I don't want to listen to that. You know what I mean? So through this process, I've learned to be more open-minded about things and about other people, and allow other people to be where they are, and allow me to be where I am. Because I want you to allow me to be where I am, so I should allow you to be where you are. I got to have some acceptance, because today I can allow you to be wrong, and I can allow you to be right. I don't have to debate. Today I can walk away from a senseless argument, a senseless debate. Sometimes I'll stand and fight as well if it's worth it, But through this process, I've learned that if I put some principles before your personality, it usually works out. There's no bumping of heads. It's more of a softer conversation. It's more of a being a gentleman, because I'm not going to always agree with anyone, and everybody's not going to always agree with me. That's a proven fact wherever I am. Even though I might know it all, I can still be wrong. You know what I mean? And I'm open to that. I'm open to because this program has taught me that it's about growth, man. And sometimes when I run into those situations, it's a growing situation. When I have those people that piss me off, or when I get angry, it's a growing situation. And I only know that through, you guys say, practice principles before personality. So when I get into any type of anger or conflict, this little statement comes back: practice some principles. Be humble. You ain't got to say that. Walk away. Let people be who they are. And we say the serenity prayer, and that sometimes that works in a lot of situations that I'm faced with. Because once I start living this thing, trying to live a new way of life, I understand today that just because I stop using dope, the world ain't gonna bow down and everything gonna be all right. Because it ain't gonna happen that way. Because you only promise freedom from active addiction. That's it. They don't say everybody gonna be all right. You're never gonna get angry again. You're never gonna, nothing's never gonna go wrong again. Because you stop using dope, everything's gonna go right. I understand today that doesn't happen. So these principles that I try to put into my life builds character. Now I was thinking while I was sitting here today, right now, I was thinking about, how people drop money, you give it back to them now. Then I thought, what if I didn't have any money? Would that be the same display? You ain't got no money, you don't know where money's gonna come from, and somebody drops it, you're like, God is good. So, I understand I can justify and rationalize anything, because I live between these ears here. And that's the way it really works, because I have to understand that I got to live with me. I got to sleep with me. Nobody else has to sleep with me. So, and those things that I do wrong, even if I do it wrong this time, I know I got to work on that. You know what I mean? And I have to continue to give myself a break and practice some principles in my life. Because if I don't, man, I'll always be miserable. And this thing, I didn't stop using dope to be miserable. I don't know about y'all. I got to still live today, and I live a lot better today. And things are, for me, life is a lot better. It's a lot simpler, man. Fun is different. Peace of mind is different. And it's only through this process, man, that I started getting real with myself. I'm trying to put up no show. Today, it don't matter where I am. I can just be who I am. It doesn't matter. And that's the whole. I know why I used dope, because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be somebody else. That's one of the reasons I used dope. The other reason that it was good too. So I have to be real with myself, and being the honesty is really what really kicks this off for me, and that's just being real with me. Because a lot of times I deny myself to say, yeah, that's all right, when I know what you said ain't about that. I don't, but I'll say yes, it's all right. That's not being honest. But it's only through this process, and only through sometimes confrontation, that I understand that I'm growing in that way. But the only way I know these principles, to practice principle over personality, is just like anything else. I got to practice to get better at it. And sometimes people show up in my life, or things happen in my life, so that I can see that I need to work on that particular principle right there. As long as sometimes I don't know that until the situation is over, of course. Then I'll think about, well, that's why that happened, is because I need to work on resentment. I need to work on that anger. I need to work on being honest. I need to work on being open-minded. I need to work on being around other people that don't look like me. I need to work on that. Because I through this program, I noticed a lot of different things. A lot of things happen. A lot of people stay with their kind, their color, or what have you, and this disease don't care. It don't matter. That's how we got together. in normal circumstance, we probably wouldn't be together, but this disease brought us together. And if it's, I know I can go even deeper than that. A power greater than myself brought me to these rooms to let me know, you ain't gotta live like that, and this is how you do it. You know, getting help from a variety of people. Because your way, obviously, wasn't helping you. Obviously, whatever I was doing, it didn't help out, it didn't work out. And those principles that you were practicing, it got you right here. So maybe you need to do something different. And I only learned that through living, really. I only learned that through living. I can't stay closed-minded. I can't stay in myself. I got something going on with me, I need to let it out. And what I learned through this process, that after you start working some steps, it don't matter what people say about you. You know, especially after you get through step 4, it's like, whatever, man. It's all out there now, because I'm only as sick as my deepest secrets. And I understand that today. So now I can open up and say a little bit more about what's really going on with me. And that's only through these meetings and practicing it. That's why I go to meetings. Gotta work, so I gotta practice that work too. And whoever I meet, I continue to try to be open-minded. I'm not gonna say I'm open-minded all the time. Because some people do the same thing over and over, just like I did, over and over, and expect something different. So, and I understand now, after years and years of doing dope, that I ain't gotta live like that. So I can't expect, because I do H&I as well, right? So when I go into jail, you know, the people are younger, 21, 23, and I think they're supposed to get this thing like that and don't say that and do this and listen. And it helps me to look back and say, there you are, man. Mm-hmm. That's you. That's what you, at 23, you couldn't tell me I was an addict. What? Nah. But I was. You know, and they said you need to go over here, but I didn't go. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Floor is still open. I think we got to 5 o'clock.
My name's Tim, and I am that.
Tim, you have to come up here so that we're being recorded. You'll come up here so the recorder can hear you.
I think I can talk, but I don't know.
Okay.
My name's Tim, I am an addict.
Hey, Tim.
When I first got clean at the meeting, at the end of the meeting, when they agreed that and the liberty and the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever remind us that four personalities. Most of the groups added a little clause in there saying that what you hear here, who you see here, stays here. The group was real adamant about that, you know, and I didn't really catch the second part about principles or personalities. You know, I was focused on staying clean one day at a time and doing what y'all told me to do. I've heard people say, if you told me to stand in the corner on my head, I would. Well, I wouldn't do that, you know, certain things, but it was a learning process. When I first got clean, I was pretty much around recovering addicts during the day. And I remember one crew I was working with, and there was a young lady in the meeting, and I was crazy about her, you know. I was. And so I asked the dude, I said, well, she had that meeting last night. He said, you should have been there. And it hurt my feelings, you know. However, I learned something there from experience, that practicing the principles outside the meeting without just using the verbiage of saying stuff in the meeting, repeating it over and over again. And that's part of, you know, what is my message? Don't use no dope. Stay clean, call your sponsor. Today, I know that all the traditions and steps mean a whole lot more than face value. That I really need to work this program to be able to live this program. there's no boredom in it for me because I have so much more to learn every day. One of my best friends is 94 years old, 5 Purple Hearts in 1 foot. And the most important thing he tells me every time I see him is, I need to learn one thing every day. And he's not telling me that I need to learn one thing. He's telling me that that's his purpose in life, is to learn one thing new every day. I remember the first time I heard that we were powerless over our addiction, that our lives became unending. And I changed the wording around. That I was. Until somebody told me that's not what it says in there. What does it say? We were. So you mean I got some power now? That if you don't pick up, you won't get high. Who's going to stop you from picking up? Okay. See, even from the very first step, I have stuff to remember. I have stuff to live by. And there's certain things that I must teach the newcomers. There's certain things I must teach my sponsees. And I got to get out of that. Well, I don't want to tell him what's really going on, but he might not like me no more. I get sugarcoated stuff. And don't know that sugarcoat is just like gossip. It's killing people. Killing me. So, I'm real glad to be here today. And to be honest with you, I'm not doing good. I left the therapy today because I can't walk, and I want to go back home and curl up in my fetal position. And I promised myself, my recovery comes first. Let me carry my ass down here to this convention and go in and hear some other people recover. Because that's what I need to do with my legs and my back. Because I need to recover. Just like my drug addiction. I need to go to the meeting every day. Well, can I get out and walk every day? Can I do therapy every day? I don't want to. Shit, that stuff hurts, man. Can I go to a meeting every day? Wow. There was some enthusiasm because they told me to do 90 meetings in 90 days. And I heard other people telling my story. I've seen some smiles, and I've seen some frowns, I've seen some other people in pain, and I could relate to them people because I'm a recovering addict. I thank God for this program. Now, does this program work in all areas of my life? Just because I'm hurting, just because I don't want to, I need to carry my ass to a meeting to hear the message. Principles before personality, I need to practice it. I need to hear this meeting today. I need this. Do I want it? Today I do. I didn't know I did. Do I need it? You're damn right. Am I going to get better without Narcotics Anonymous? It don't look like it. So I need every one of you guys. I need and I want every one of you guys. It's about recovering today, and I can't do it by myself. And that's the principle that I'm learning. I can't do it by myself. And I love you guys. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing.
Come on, John.
I'm John, I'm an addict.
Hey, John.
This is, sit down?
Have
Okay. This is Principles Before Personalities. And I'm thinking to myself, what can I share on spirituality? My mind is in a whole different way. And when I come into a group like this, and then it hit me, I thought, well, this isn't even a spirituality meeting. And I read the thing 4 times. Denny's a good friend of mine. Alan's a good friend of mine. You're a good friend of mine. And I came in my mind, that's how it works. I had to read it 4 times and even get in here. And when I come in here, and then the whole topic's different from what's even in my mind and from what I'm even going to share. And I'm okay with that today. I know one thing is that when I first got here, I would beat myself up over that, and for not having the comprehension and not being on board with everybody else. Everybody else would be clapping. I'd be just kind of going along, clapping with everybody, okay, and then not really know what the hell we're clapping at, not even knowing what's going on. And I guess my truth is that really for me to even understand the steps and the kind of even where they fall in, it's probably taken me about 4 years to even kind of know what is what in the steps and how they're laid out. I'm grateful that I'm able to kind of take my time with this, and I'm able to not beat myself up. Man, I just finished up. I just did some 6-step work and looking back on character defects and seeing on how I beat myself up so much. And I'm so grateful for the steps that I'm able to take a look at that and see that I don't need to be doing that. No one does to me what I do to me. And it's just like, why? I'm a pretty good guy. I don't need to be doing that to myself. Everybody else seems to say that, and I think that too. This might be off topic, but this is just where I'm going with it, is that, I was down in Brunswick the last couple of days, and I was doing a little vacation down there, and what I love about Narcotics Anonymous is that I had no idea. I was going to a meeting. I had no idea where I was at, never been there before. My GPS went on my phone. I was talking to my daughter. She's in Atlanta, and she helped guide me to the meeting, right, from her computer. And so, and I'm in the phone, and it's pitch dark down there. There's not lighting. There's Atlanta. It's really hard to see. And she's telling me where I'm at. I'm like, how are you doing that? I mean, she's like a wizard, And so she gets me in the direction of the meeting, and the area wasn't the best area. It's just, it is what it is, right? But I want to go to a meeting, and I'm not even thinking about it, right? And so, and all of a sudden I'm driving, and I see a couple of people out there smoking, right? I'm like, okay, I'm getting close to home, And then I see the sign outside the window, and I was like, okay, I got it, honey. Here, I'm here. I parked my car, and I get out of my car, and I'm walking to this door, and it kind of hit me that this door is there. I've never seen this door. I don't know who's behind this door, but it's like walking into a family's house. And I walked in, and everybody looked up, and they just smiled. Hey, how you doing, right? And they all gave me hugs, this and that, and I was just, I just felt it, and I was just excited, and I walked into a room where I didn't know anybody, but I knew everybody, and they just treated me like family, man, and that's what Narcotics Anonymous does. Mm-hmm. I came from California, made my way to Atlanta, and I knew that I wasn't coming by myself because I have NA in my life now, never alone, never again, and that's the thing with this, and that's what kept me in Narcotics Anonymous. That's what I love about it so much, is it's how everybody treated me, and they're like, hey, John, good to see you, man, and we love you, and you know what happened when I went back there the next night? They remembered my name, and they come up and gave, hey, good to see you, man, and this and that, like, hey, what, you going to be around here, and this and that? I'm like, yeah, I am. Wait a minute, I live 5 hours away. I don't know if I'm going to be. I don't know. I want to be, because I just love it, I'm so grateful for Narcotics Anonymous to be at this meeting and to be at this convention, and like I haven't even been in Georgia I haven't even been here for 3 years, and to the Denne and Alan, I have relationships with both of them, and I have history with both of them that will last me for the rest of my life, and I remember exactly before my other history with people, how that history went, right? You would see somebody in a motel room or somewhere else or in a garage or I don't know wherever you meet them, and then and then you forget about him. You see him 2 years later. You're like, oh hey, yeah, how are you doing? I haven't seen you. I saw you a week ago. They're like, no, it was 2 years ago. And we're all in that same thing, but we're just being blown around in the wind. And now when I come in here and I got relationships like this, and I know exactly when the relationship started. We're all on the same path, trying to achieve the same thing, and just trying to stay clean for one more day. I'm here just because I don't have the obsession to use today, right? And if I really stop and think about it, how powerful is that? Because that's all I did all day, every day, and that was stronger than the love of my daughters. That was stronger than anything. That's all I had. That's all I needed, and that's all I wanted. That's all that made me happy. No relationship could fill that. I had to have my drug. And today I'm by myself here. I came here in Augusta, never even been here before. I get here and I'm just happy. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm not by myself. I'm with family. I'm with everybody here. I'm hugging people. Hey, how you doing? When I got out of my car, the lady who got out of the car next to me, of course, we didn't even registered yet. She got out of the car and I knew she was from NA. I could just tell. I'm like, hey, and she gives me the eye, and I walked over. We just hugged one another. And so you get that look, right? And it's just a feeling like, hey, how you doing? And then it turns out that she was a speaker at the earlier meeting, and I'm looking at her too, and this is, I'm fried, but I was sitting there and I'm like, I know that lady from someplace, and I give her a hug. She goes, yeah, we met out in the park. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. It's great to see you. Give her another hug, if I see her a couple more times, I might remember that I saw her here, and, but man, I'm a work in progress, I know that. I'm a work in progress, and I have fun with this thing. I have a great relationship with my daughters. The principles of the program. The principles of the program is just like, I show up. I show up, and I find that when I do that, man, magical things happen. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks for sharing.
Who wants to be next?
Ricky, I'm an addict.
Hey, Ricky.
Let's be short. It's something somebody shared kind of got me thinking about something. Only I don't know anybody here. I'm from over in South Carolina. Not far from, Anderson County, not far from Clemson. I seen that orange, it made me think of that. But, I was thinking about how I found out about this convention. I guess that was God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. I got some friends in Alberton. They invited me to a meeting in Athens Monday night. That's when I found out about this convention. I see a couple of faces I think I've seen before. But I was saying about that principles and personalities. Boy, I have one. I'm pretty bad. I'm kind of mad at my sponsor. We've been talking all week about going to do step work Thursday night. And I tried to call him, and I didn't get no answer. And then I think he tried to call me back today when I almost got lost here. And I was aggravated with my phone a little bit. That was my personality coming out with that phone. The GPS worked good till I got in town. And then he wanted to try to call me back after I set aside my time to do step work. And I was thinking, I guess he thinks my time ain't as important, but I got to remember the man's got a life too. Matter of fact, he just got married about a year ago, and I got to remember that he's got a new wife, and she come with a family, a ready-made family, and because I've been around them fussing some. But I was thinking about that. I got some more friends from South Carolina coming. And I had something on mind about, we got to remember we all addicts. I look at the similarities, not the differences, because people give me a hard time about how I'm real country, the way I talk. And matter of fact, the lady I spoke one time kept saying, I ain't Georgia. I said, we not in Georgia. But she was saying she enjoyed it. So that's kind of the relay we got to look at. We all addicts. And I guess that's all I had to share.
That's all right. Anyone else?
I'm Missy, I'm an addict.
Hey, Missy.
I'm running fast as I can. Oh Lord, it jumped on me to come up because I'm in the middle of working on this right now. If I sit, I'm in pain.
What you do?
For me, at some point, I started having to learn about this probably from my first meeting. Because I was in a home group with some real assholes. They were mean and hateful. They were just terrible to me. Thank God for them. gave me a resentment every day. Told me shit like, really? We're bothering you? You don't like what we said? There's the door. Feel free. We love you. We hope you don't go, but we're pretty sure something else that ran you in here a minute ago will run your ass back in here tomorrow night. Keep coming back. Thank God. There have been numerous instances. I found out that